You ever ask somebody about relationship questions, and they're supposed to be some high level, spiritual teacher or something, but you can tell when they're responding, you're like, some intuitions like, I don't think they know anything about this. Yeah, because they'll say something like, well, you got to recognize your oneness with God, and then you keep your focus on that. And that's how you do it. That's how you 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 don't get hurt or get your heart broke. You got to remember God. Yeah. And then later, if you see them ever get into a relationship, then maybe they'll be crying in the corner when she or he left them. Sounds good on paper, don't it? Yeah, you just be one with God, and then you're cool. Just meditate. You should meditate, then this stuff won't get to you. But I'm saying, go get your heart broke. What do I mean by that, though? That's training. This is training. How are you going to get to where you're not, you know, how can you get to where you don't fear intimacy if you don't feel what it feels like to be intimate and vulnerable with somebody and then get crashed? See, why are people fear of intimacy? Because that happened to them. They got like, man, a heartbreak and knocked the wind out of your chest, like somebody solar plexed you. You're not hungry, you can't sleep. So then, because they don't have a spiritual practice, they're like, they make some subconscious decision to never do that again. I'm not going to do that again. I'm just going to. But they still are attracted to the opposite sex because the play of dynamic, law of dynamics. But they make sure they're not going to. I'm not going to get too deep though. I'm going to keep things on a surface level. And when I feel that the space gets created and intuition's encouraging me to really unite with this opposite energy polarity, when I feel that tendency, I'm going to turn it off. I'm just going to, I'm not going to do it. A lot of times that's subconscious, could also be conscious, depends on the individual and the karma, etc. But then, like, what's the point, man? What's the point? What satisfaction is that going to give? That's like so boring. Doesn't do anything. I want to, if I'm going to get into a relationship like that kind, we're going to, I want to lose myself, man. And you can. And that can mess people up. But if you're if you I don't know, man, if you know who you are on some level, you can lose yourself. It's okay. You get beat up, but then you get found again. It's okay. You go through that a few times, you're not going to be fearful of intimacy. So I'm going to tell my story about I don't like suggest doing this because yeah, it's a little bit silly. It's funny for me. One guy left a comment, asked me if I was a jester. And archetypes, that means a joker. And I'm like, totally. I met a girl and we had really good chemistry. I recognized it. But see, she was a bit checked out. I also recognized that. You can tell when somebody just kind of checked out, But the chemistry was so fun, and she was a plant medicine sister, and I was doing plant medicine at the time, and that's fun to experience plant medicine with your partner and all that. There's an I think that's that's a big lizard. You can't see it. I don't want to move the camera because then I can't get it positioned again. But it's not coming in my direction, so it's cool. They got these lizards in Peru. They'll eat people. Yeah. I told her, like the first night where it was clear that we were gonna, like, I don't know, be together or something. I told her, I said, look, this is gonna end. I love you so much. Even though I know this is gonna end bad for me, I'm totally down, man. I said just like that. I don't think she understood what I was saying. It scared her though. I remember that. Yeah. She's like, because we were in the shower, and she's like, I got to get out. I said, why? And she's like, she felt, okay, you see, fear of intimacy, she had it. I didn't. And she said, she felt like, I don't know if I'm going to be around for you. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I said, I don't either, man. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It doesn't mean anything. I said, if you want to leave right now, it's cool. Like, it's up to you. I'm not holding hostages. Then she felt better. All right, so it went along, for some time, and it was cool and fun and everything. And then, of course, it started to come to an end because she was smoking too much weed, and I just, she didn't have the health style habits weren't, and the spiritual nature wasn't activated enough for me. And I knew all that at the beginning. So it was like, why then did I allow myself to be so vulnerable and merge with her energy? Why? Because I wanted to experience it, that's why. And I wanted to see, like, would it be painful when it ends? Because I know it's going to end. That's why. It's like an experiment or something. So then when it was ending, so remember the first night, I told her, I said, look, it's going to end bad. Okay. Then it ends. And then here's what I said. I said, I told you this. I told you it was going to end. I said, but man, I'd do it all over again, though. I said, you want to do it again? My jester nature was coming out. She says, you're crazy. I said, yeah, it's a good crazy. It's a conscious crazy. I know I'm crazy. I allow that crazy aspect to come out. You can be as crazy as you want if you're aware of it. It's fun. I mean, in this planet with all this world and everybody serious and conditioned, like, do you see how if you I made a video about, like, be weird, enjoy your weirdness. It makes balance. Otherwise you can go insane. I'd have been insane if I didn't allow this kind of joker, not taking things so serious nature to come out and express. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it, man. I'd have left this planet. Damn, there's like 2 lizards now. Can you see it? I don't know. So, and they blend in with the grass. All of a sudden, it looks like a leaf is moving, but you're like, oh no, that's a lizard. So, when you go through that, I went through that like 3 times. This deep, nice, heavenly communion. You lose yourself in it. You want to lose yourself in it. You don't want it. You just want to totally just like, man, just, yeah, take me away. Because it's the ultimate drug. It's the highest, I feel, drug on this planet to experience a true intimate communion with another being. And then if you bring sex into that too, then you're merging. I just want to make sure you're merging on the deepest point that you can merge on a physical level. So the union is like your physical bodies are united, emotionally you're united, mentally you're united, spiritually you can be united. It's a very strong drug experience. But duality. When it ends, this is why some people end up in prison, or they kill themselves, or they just become crazy. They go into some psychosis because it's super strong. But once you go through that a few times, I don't know, can you go through it once and be okay? Look, it's always gonna hurt on some level. If I got into another one now, it would hurt still if that ended, but you get to where you can bear the hurt. You're not worried about like, oh no, I'm gonna get hurt, like what's gonna happen? No, you deal with the hurt. It passes. It doesn't have to be like such, like I gotta protect myself and everything. If one doesn't have a sadhana, if one isn't rooted, you can say, in this source, some level of, if you don't have some level of unity with your source inside, then that person is going to fear intimacy in relationships, and you're going to be missing out on a big part of life. If God prescribes that to you. For some may feel like, but I'm not interested. If you're authentically not interested, it's not your destiny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's like some girls say, man, there's nothing like the lessons you learn when you have a baby. There's like, and they're like, there's no way anybody can have the highest, you can say, realization or depth unless you have a child. No, it's not true. God is using that situation for you to activate these vitamins and minerals that are hiding inside you. Well, a bad health situation could do the same thing. Or any extreme extenuating circumstance, like some of the Jews that went through in the Holocaust. A lot of them became very saintly and awoken when they survived that, because you were driven to your depth. When you get driven to your depth, then real realization sprouts. It's not the superficial mental blah 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 spiritual. I had my buddy, I forgot his name, but he's an older guy, and he was saying, yeah, it's like some of the non-duals, it reminds me of the lunchroom at work. It's a bunch of talking heads and it's making noise, you know. There's no realization, there's no honey behind, there's no, you know, no vibration behind it. It's just mind talking. Whoa. I ain't scared, I got gains. Now I'm just, you know, I'm careful. Unless you get driven to your depth, the true spiritual vitamins and minerals and realizations, they're not going to sprout. They're just not. So, intimate relationship can be a catalyst for that, especially if God's prescribing it to you. That's my point. I'm not telling everybody go look now for an intimate relationship. Like, that doesn't work. If it's provided to you, then you do introspection and you see, am I running from this? Is this fear of intimacy? That's what I'm saying. Because then you're like missing the class that the universe is prescribing to you. And we don't know how long we got to wait again for that to come back around. This thing moves slow, man. This planet. You can't just, it's not like astral dimension. You just manifest something. No, you got to, you know, you can't manifest a mango. No, you got to put a seed. You got to wait, I don't know, 10 years, and then a tree grow, and then you take the fruit. Things are slow. So don't waste time. We're not here so long. 70, 80 years, like that's nothing. I don't know any better way of transcending something than hands-on going through it. You can read all the books in the world, man, about like love and intimacy and or not being fearful of intimacy. You could, but the best way I've learned, I can only share my experience, is when I had my heart broke. When I wasn't scared of intimacy. I allowed myself to have it. And then in that vulnerability, when it ended, when she left or she died, man, I'm gonna like, you gotta feel that. But that stirring up stirs you at your core. So if God prescribes something like that to you, give thanks. Let's see if I missed anything. Oh yeah. So I say here, the relationships aren't made to work. This is the last thing I want to share on. Let's let the little food truck cart go by. He's chilling. You can't do that in America. Police will give you a ticket or something. It's like, where's your license? You know, all these rules. That's why I don't like living I don't like rules. I like, because it's like suffocating, stifling. I like to just, you know, do what I want to do. So I made a video that said human life isn't made to work. Some people misinterpreted that. I could tell by the comment. They don't even watch the video. They just comment on the title. They're like, well, you got to work. Can't just stay out in the woods all day like you. I'm like, damn, man. All right, cool. But I was saying, like, human life isn't, this isn't like made to experience heaven. This isn't like a heavenly plane. That's what I'm saying. Heaven exists, sure. Some of the spiritual foo-foos will say, no, but heaven's inside you. You just have to access it. Yes, it's true. But there's some realms and planes where you don't even have to access it. It's there. So that's what I'm saying. This planet isn't, I wouldn't put this in the category of heavenly realms. Okay. So, I say human life wasn't made to work. Well, relationships aren't made to work. Not like that. You're going to taste heaven, you're going to taste hell. Some may taste more hell than heaven, or vice versa. Depends on our level of consciousness and what we attract and how many issues we have when we go into it. All these factors. But they're made to make us grow. That's what they're here to do. Man, they make you grow. I mean, they just make you grow like so much better than if you were just staying in an ashram your whole life and just meditate. I do my yoga. I've been in ashrams and I've seen those people, and I recognized, I'm like, you guys need to go out and like live life a little bit, because you're missing stuff. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So relationships, man, they give you this wisdom that you can't find anywhere else. You're just not going to find it anywhere. If God prescribes that to you. I keep wanting to throw that disclaimer in because I know how the mind works. The mind, some people's mind will hear me and think, oh, he's saying I'm missing something, but I really don't feel to have a relationship. I'm not talking to you then. I mean, I'm talking to you, but I'm not saying, like, that may not be your curriculum. But don't run. Don't run when God gives you something, man, that can just explode your spiritual nature. Our spiritual nature is dormant in most people. That's the problem. That's why we need some dynamite to wake it up. God uses extenuating circumstances to do that. Relationships can be one. Having hard times, that can take many different forms is another one. Don't run from it. All right. So I think, you see, relationship videos, they last longer, don't they? So I do consultations. If anyone's interested, emails on the banner, and have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.